Everyone's excited about Tesla's battery day, but it may just have to be about catching up and taking its lead back from Lucid Motors. I will show you the new quarter-mile record set by Lucid, the reaction from their CEO Peter Rawlinson, and ever-wise commentary by InsideEVs contributor Tom Moloughney. In more Tesla news, it was surprisingly snubbed by S&P 500 from the inclusion in the index, and you'll never guess the company that essentially took Tesla's place. Elon Musk hangs out with the CEO of its rival Volkswagen Group. Tesla is set to raise billions of dollars with yet another capital raise, but can't outsell the new kid on the block, Polestar 2, in a couple of European markets. These and other electric car news coming up next. Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of electric car scoop. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Tesla's battery day is only in a couple of weeks, but for the first time, they are in a very weird position of having to catch up to another brand, a very unlikely and new industry player, Lucid Motors, which only a couple of years ago was considered everything but dead. After revealing its Lucid Air electric sedan had the lowest drag coefficient on the market, they've announced the longest electric car range of 517 EPA miles, followed that up by announcing the highest charging rate in the industry of 350 kilowatts. Lucid has now released a video of the Air sedan setting a quarter-mile record of any production sedan at just under 10 seconds. All right, I have to say that I'm not that surprised because I was there when that happened, and obviously I couldn't tell you because they wanted to keep this a secret. And yes, granted, the Air is not going in production until the spring of next year. It is also unknown if whatever Tesla announces on its battery day will be in production by then either. One thing I want to mention is the 9.9 quarter-mile second record that you saw in that video was achieved by what they are calling a dream edition of the car, where they will have the performance version later next year, which also raced on that same day. And that, my friends, went even faster. Not only that, but the CEO of Lucid Motors, Peter Rawlinson, who was behind the wheel, didn't even bother rolling the windows all the way up for that race, from what I remember on that day, and as you can see in the very last shot of their newly released video. Here's what he had to say right after setting that record when I caught up with him later that day. All right, Peter, we just spoke a few days ago by Zoom. I always like it in person. And now, what did I just witness out there?
We did some test runs at Sonoma Circuit. We're looking at standing quarters with our go-to-market car, the standard Lucid Air that we're going to launch with, and also a performance version, which is going to come later in 21. For more analysis, as always, we turn to InsideEVs contributor Tom Moloughney. All right, Tom, so now we've been hearing from Lucid for a few weeks now, and they've been unveiling every week something new, how they've outdone Tesla in one category or another. But what's the most exciting thing about them, to you right now that we know pretty much everything ahead of the September 9th launch?
Well, everybody loves speed, right? This quarter mile in under 10 seconds is really just freaking awesome. And that's what gets people excited about cars, even if you can't use that in your daily life. But really, that's not the most exciting thing to me about Lucid. What I just love that everything that they seem to be doing is going to be like an industry leader. They've got the longest range when the vehicle, and let me qualify this by saying when the vehicle comes to market. It's still a concept, it's still a prototype. They haven't done anything yet, but it looks like they're going to deliver on this. Has the longest range, over 500 miles. It has the largest interior space of any vehicle in its class. It has the fastest charging. It can recharge faster than any other EV. It's going to be the most efficient electric vehicle. It got that 500 plus miles, don't forget, with a battery that's only a little bit bigger than the Model S battery. It's only 113 kilowatt hours compared to the Model S's 100 kilowatt hours. So, everything that they're doing is amazing. But to me, I'm like an efficiency hawk. I love that they're making the car so efficient. I think that's the way the industry needs to go. And it's just amazing that they're able to make such a high performance car so efficient.
Now, you've mentioned that obviously it's a prototype. We're about 6 to 9 months from production, at least that's what they're claiming. But you know, still a long road for them to production. Do you see them delivering on this in this time frame? And what are the challenges that you see for a startup like Lucid?
Well, I'd feel a lot better if I already had a factory tour of their Casa Grande factory. So if any of the Lucid representatives are out there listening, let's get the media tours going, even if they're in small groups wearing masks. We want to see what's going on at your factory. But no, yeah, Alex, they still have a long way to go. Everything they're doing looks fantastic, and they have great personnel led by Rawlinson. Gives a lot of confidence that this guy's done it before. He's the father of the Model S. Elon basically said, "Here's the keys to the company. Build me the best car in the world," and Rawlinson did it. That's his baby. So I have confidence that he can do it again. But they still have a long way to go. Making a concept and then building a factory and actually going to series production are two different things. We saw how Tesla struggled initially with production. They're still struggling to some degree with building good cars fast enough to satisfy demand. So, they've got a long way to go. It seems like they have enough money, but you run out of money really quickly building cars. So there could be financial issues down the road. There could be manufacturing issues. We don't know yet. But what we do know is it seems like the first vehicle they're putting out the air is a revolutionary type vehicle.
Now, we obviously will hear from Tesla in a few weeks with their battery day, which obviously we're expecting a lot of announcements, especially the battery, which means obviously a longer range. But let me ask you this. I mean, with these type of numbers, right? Over 500 mile of range, 350 kilowatt charging, at some point, does this become a moot point? At some point, do consumers go like, all right, listen, guys, you can have your race to whatever rates and numbers all you want, but we only need this much, right? Or we can only charge our cars at these fast charging stations at no more than 350 kilowatts. Do you think we're at the point where some of the consumers are just going to stop paying attention, just saying, hey, listen, my car's got over 200 miles of range. I'm good. Everything else is really unnecessary.
Maybe some of the seasoned EV veterans might have that opinion, but general public just isn't there yet, Alex. They want to see that big number for range, even if they don't need it. Asking people to transition to an electric car is asking them to change how they act, change what they do, their lifestyle as far as refueling their vehicle, and they're not sure that they're going to be able to do that, as well and as easily as they do with gas. So for new EV buyers, I think that range number is really important. If it can start off with a 4 or even a 5, like with Lucid, I think that's going to carry a lot of weight. But as we've discussed, in the future, when EV infrastructure, charging infrastructure has proliferated, when it's all over the place, when there's DC fast chargers as many as gas stations on every corner, we're going to get to a point like that at some point in the next 5 to 8 years. Then these super long ranges are not going to be needed anymore. I think at some point down the road, we're going to settle in at like a 200 to 250 mile EV with robust infrastructure, and that's going to be plenty of range. But for today, these long range EVs are absolutely necessary.
You want to give me a quick guess on what Tesla going to announce at the battery day? How many mile range they're gonna have with their new battery tech?
I don't want to sound dumb, because I'll whatever I guess will be wrong. But I'm sure it's going to get the market excited. The Tesla faithful are going to be out there. The million-mile battery we might talk about. We're going to talk about energy density of 300 watt hours per kilogram, all that stuff. But I can tell you this, on the heels of this Lucid news, Tesla has they have some catching up to do, which we've never had to say that before about Tesla. The Lucid Air now with a slightly larger battery pack goes much further. So even if Tesla made a 15% or 20%, improvement on their current battery, they're only at where Lucid is claiming to be at. So it has to be something 30% better in order to say leapfrog what we expect to be getting from Lucid.
Don't forget to subscribe to Tom's channel using the link in the description of this video. And now let's move on to some other Tesla news. But before that, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by OptiWatt, a free service that will report how much actual energy your Tesla is using, save you some money by adjusting your charging times, and tell you how much you're already saving by using electricity over gas. It's completely free. Sign up using the link in the description of this video. And by Manscaped, the sexiest male grooming product I've ever heard of, including their latest, the Lawn Mower 3.0, which much like your electric car runs on lithium-ion batteries and has its own charging station. Get 20% off and free shipping on any amazing Manscaped products by using the link and the code in the description of this video. Let's get to some more Tesla news, and before I tell you about S&P 500 snub and Elon visiting the Volkswagen CEO, let's get to the most important Tesla news of the week. German company that converts cars to Hertz limousines, Benz International, has added Tesla Model S conversion to their inventory. That's right, you can now get to your resting place on autopilot. But why Tesla? Well, if it runs into a stationary object on autopilot, at least technically, nobody gets hurt. Alright, but seriously, it does actually make sense because some European cities disallow or will soon disallow gas vehicles in some parts of town, or will limit times of when you can drive a gas car in those areas. They're calling it Benz E, but looking at their website, I don't think they understand what E actually stands for. E for elegance, efficiency, emission-free, ease. Nope. Man, if only there was some sort of a fun or maybe musical way to give them the right answer. Last week, Tesla was snubbed from the inclusion into S&P 500 index, even though it's worth almost 10 times as much as the 3 companies that were included. Tesla has achieved all of the requirements to be added, including the 4 consecutive profitable quarters. It would probably hurt a little less if one of the companies that were included wasn't Etsy. Yes, the company that lets you sell your homemade items online, including this dryer sheet parrot for $99. Yes, that's a real item on Etsy. And by the way, you better hurry up because there's only one left. Though, in all fairness, Etsy is the only place where you can buy and take delivery of the Cybertruck. Tesla is also raising about $5 billion in capital, taking advantage of its incredibly high stock price. Even after a 5-to-1 split, the stock went as high as over $500 per share. Now, I don't really get it because when they needed the money, they were very hesitant to do this, but now that they don't, because they have over $8 billion already in the bank, they're doing it at any chance. Earlier this year in February, they've already raised $2 billion, but we don't really know what they're going to be spending it on. Let me know in the comment section if you have any guesses, but my vote goes into sponsoring electric car YouTube channels. Elon Musk was visiting Germany for some of the Tesla-related projects like the factory and the CureVac project that will be manufacturing RNA printers to distribute the upcoming COVID-19 vaccine. Not really sure why he's bothering with this because we all know that all of the new coronavirus cases were pretty much all but gone by the end of April. But at the end of the day, Musk ended up hanging out with the Volkswagen Group CEO and my BFF, Herbert Diess. Hey Elon, how do you make those panel gaps so big? Well, you see, we saved a lot of time by not trying to cheat the government regulators. Alright, I don't really know what they were actually talking about, but Diess did show Elon some of the Volkswagen latest electric cars, like ID3 and ID4 though. I'd be very careful, Herbert, because the last time Elon saw one of the Volkswagen Group electric cars, he made fun of it later.
I don't want to pick on the e-tron, but it's, it's there's room for improvement. So, e-tron. All right. If you speak French, that's quite funny. Resisting the temptation to pick on competitors, I will not do that.
Speaking of the ID4, which is coming to the United States in just a few months to compete with Tesla's Model Y, Volkswagen has unveiled the interior pictures of the car. Very similar to the ID3, simple, maybe too simple, but all is forgiven because the seats will have a built-in massager option. So if you are a little bit stressed out about investing your money into the Volkswagen stock rather than the Tesla stock, well, your car can massage that stress right out of you while you're driving your Volkswagen ID4. And by the way, the ID3 deliveries are finally underway in Europe. Back to Tesla, and there are some concerning news for those who are looking to buy a used Tesla off of their website. It's the only place where you can get an extended warranty on a used car, but now Tesla has gone back to not letting you see the actual pictures of the car you want to buy. All you can see is the stock picture, and not only until you put down a non-refundable deposit, you can see the pictures of the car you're just about to buy. So it's kind of like an arranged marriage. You don't get to see the bride until the moment when you know that you're gonna lose some money if something goes wrong. If you watch my channel regularly, you probably remember that a couple of weeks ago I got to spend a day with the Polestar 2, and even though I thought it was a very solid car with a great range and power, its best feature, the Android operating system with an app store, was in its very early stages. I did not think it could compete with the Model 3 at that point, but obviously people in Norway and Sweden disagree with me. Polestar 2 outsold Tesla Model 3 in August in both of those countries by over 50% in sales numbers. As I've noted before, Tesla hasn't done as well in Europe as it has in the United States. It's been outsold by Audi in the electric SUV category and by Renault in all European electric car sales. Polestar 2 has gone on sale in the United States this month. I invite you to join my Patreon community where I live stream once a week with all of the behind the scenes stories and upcoming channel news, and you would also be supporting my nasty habit of eating and paying rent. You can use the link in the description of this video to join. I'm looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.